Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting, and welcome to the channel today. I appreciate you being here. And if you're new to the channel, if you're finding us for that very first time, welcome as well. And as a quick reminder to all, my focus, my mission here on the channel is I want to be able to provide as much information as I possibly can to as many people as I possibly can to help you grow and develop your business. And the best way I can do that, the best way I can scale that is when you choose to subscribe to the channel, is when you choose to like the videos, and when you choose to share the information with friends and associates and colleagues. So with that said, if you've not yet done so, please subscribe. Please like the videos, and please share it with associates and colleagues. And to learn more about me, learn more about my company and how we can help take your business to that next level, please check out the links below. And the two links I'd point you to today are, number one is to our email newsletter link. It's 100% free, and it's one additional resource for you to gain more information about how to grow and develop your business. And then also be sure to check out our website, fmconsulting.net. You can gain free access, 100% free access to our gym management playbook. Okay, so go check that out. We'll look forward to seeing you over there. And with that said, let's get into our topic here today. And it's the 10 most common new gym startup mistakes. Okay, new gym startup mistakes. And these are some of the more common things that I see. And some of these mistakes, we're making them, even on existing operations. When we acquire a club, you'll see a lot of these things done. So it's not always just new startups. This is kind of where I see it the most, I think. But it can happen at any level. So check these out. And really, no matter what role you have, are you opening a gym? Are you operating a gym? Are you the manager of it? A lot of these can pertain to, kind of your day-to-day, things that you're trying to accomplish as well. So let's take a look at them here. 10 most common mistakes. Number one is no or insufficient planning. Okay, and don't just walk in and think, hey, we're going to do it. Okay, sit down and think this through. Okay, the thing that I recommend you do is have a plan of action, and you can actually search the channel here for how to write a plan of action. But you want to have a full plan of action, and in most cases, if you're new, I hope if you've not done it, you've written a business plan. Okay, and every day we want to work on the key objectives of that business plan, but make sure we have adequate planning in place. Okay, and just kind of at its core, what are the goals, tangible and intangible? What is the plan to reach them? Then what if we have roadblocks and setbacks? Now, what is the plan, if all that happens? Then that's just a component of a good plan of action. Again, search the channel, we'll take you through, every step of that. But make sure we have adequate planning, to do this. Again, too many folks, they think, well, hey, we're going to have all this. We're just going to walk in and off we're going to go. Okay, make sure you really work your way through it. Strong business plan. And part of that, too, is really the proper education on this. Okay, what are the pitfalls? What are the risks? How do we mitigate those risks? How do we keep competition out of the marketplace? How are we going to recruit? There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just, hey, make sure we plan. There's a lot in that. Okay, so really give that some thought. And even if you're up and running, how often do we revisit those things? One of the things that's easy to have sneak in on us is what I call success apathy. And what I mean by that is, just because we've had success in the past doesn't mean we're going to have success in the future. Okay, so make sure we have proper planning. Number two, in terms of mistakes, new clubs do it. I see existing clubs do it. The gym doesn't have any real differentiation, or is not offering any real value. There's no differentiation or not offering any real value. Okay, and what I mean by not offering any real value, in a manner of speaking, we're selling a membership card. Or in a manner of speaking, we're simply leasing space. And for most folks, that's not going to cut it. And it's certainly not going to cut it long term. You're probably going to have some attrition issues, with some of that. But when I look at differentiation, the thing you want to ask yourself is, what is it that you do better than anybody else in your marketplace? And really define it, really drill down on this. What do you do better? What are you doing that nobody else is offering? How are you solving your customers' problems? How are you providing solutions? How are you building value? And it's easy to say, oh yeah, we're going to do this and we're better than anybody else. Make sure Okay, it's not always what you think it is. Really take a look at it, and also know these things can change, and they will change. Okay, but one of the bigger mistakes is there's no real differentiation, and there's no real clear value. And even if you think there is, maybe the customer doesn't. So we have to make sure that that is promoted and marketed, so that they're properly educated on that. Number 3, the lack of focus on the members. The lack of focus on the members. It's almost like the mindset I see so often, or too often, is, okay, now we've got them, let's go find some more. And job 1 is to keep who you have. Let's keep who you have. One of the biggest issues in the fitness industry is the issue of attrition. And I see big numbers on that. And we want to keep our members. We want to focus on keeping our members. The member experience is the best thing that you can focus on that's going to help keep these folks. Okay, giving that exceptional customer service, giving that good faith effort, making your gym a destination location, almost as much for entertainment as it is for fitness. Okay, but make sure there's an absolute focus on your members. It's every bit as important to keep them as it was to get them. Okay. Number 4, no testing and no pivoting. Okay, now let me kind of talk about this in 2 different ways. You kind of always want to test, but I know with a lot of my clients that we work with, we won't do a lot of testing simply because we've been through, on my end, I've been through so much of this, we can go straight to what we know has the highest level of success. And so we can limit some of that testing, okay? So for folks that are working with me, that's kind of why you don't see a lot of testing, because I've kind of done it already in other areas. So it's been done just differently. But if you're not using those kind of services, you're going to have to test things out, okay? And you just allocate a percentage of your budget, maybe it's 10%, 20%, for testing. Okay, what works, what doesn't work. You're constantly asking yourself this question. I do it at every single meeting, okay, whether it be on the phone or in person. What's working well, what's not? Constantly looking at it, okay, and then adjusting. And then if I have to, we're going to pivot, okay? Don't just say, hey, here's how we've always done it. We're going to continue to do it this way. There are certain fundamentals, yes, but it's a wide road we can go down. And so if something's not working like it needs to, let's pivot. Okay, but let's make sure we pivot with good information. We want historical information. It's hard to guarantee things, but we want to have historical data, historical information that tells us if we make this adjustment, it's going to have success. So, common mistake number 4 is no testing, no pivoting. Okay, number 5. It's funny to say this one. This gets included in a lot of these kind of top 10 lists that we do. But the lack of focus on sales, revenues, and profits. At the end of the day, this is why you're doing it. Nobody gets in business to lose money, okay? And the way I bring this to life for you, your sales, revenues, and profits. The sales, this is the oxygen for your business. And just think about the room you're in right now watching this. What if the oxygen just slowly went away? What would happen? Nothing good. It's the same thing if sales aren't there, or sales just slowly go away, you're sucking that oxygen from your business. And you need to be focused on sales and revenues and profits. Okay? This is why you're there. Okay? One of the things that I find interesting really across the globe on clubs that we work with, I think nearly every club, there's maybe only been a handful over the years that maybe really didn't have a quality product. Most of them have a real quality product. Okay. Problem is no one knows they're there, so they're not getting traffic flow. And number 2, we don't have a sales process when they come in, and we don't have a second sale, and we don't have attrition and retention programs in place. But know your numbers on sales, revenues, and profits. I can't stress that one enough. Okay. Number 6, bad execution. Bad execution. How are we executing on all this? What's our phone inquiry script look like? And how are we doing with it? How are we tracking with it? What's our sales process look like? How are we tracking with that? Okay. What's our second sale look like? What's our price presentation? How are we executing on all that? And you can research the channel for all this, okay? I think we have well over 1,200 videos now on the channel. Most all of them are how-to in nature. Check out, different things like this. But we have to make sure we execute. You can't have, here's the great manual, here's the great training, here's the great teaching. You have to execute. And one of the great things you can do to ensure, success with that, train every day. Okay, maybe have an hour a week training with the salespeople. Then every day it's 5 to 10 minutes. We're training constantly. The training never stops. Okay, you have to have that repetitive nature of it. Number 7, common mistakes. Leadership failures. The message I want to give here is take charge. Take charge. Make a decision. Here's how we're going to do it, and then follow up on it. I can tell you one of the more other additional, I guess, common mistakes that I see is, we'll have meetings, I might speak at a group or we do training or whatever it is, and ownership gets fired up or management gets fired up. Oh, that sounds great. And so they have this meeting with their team, have this meeting with their staff. Here's what we're going to do. Now go get them. And we never follow up. We never follow up. Follow up. Leadership, let's make sure we inspect what we expect. This is never going to become important to all your folks until it becomes important to you. And it's going to become important to you through your actions, not just your words. Okay? So that leadership failure is top of the list. Number 8, this one happens when we start having success. We start to scale too soon. We start to grow too soon. Common mistakes. We start to grow too soon. And so here's the big thing. Okay, make sure there's money in the bank. Okay, I like to see you have at least 1 month operating in the bank. You might have as much as 3. Okay, but it'll have at least 1 month operating. Always be looking for funding. Always be looking for funding. And you can click our links below on funding and how to get some of that. But when we have a program for everybody, if you have low credit scores and all that, we can still help. So, but always be looking for funding. Okay, I see a lot of folks, they'll scale too soon. They're scaling, but they're kind of trying to do it through cash flow. They really don't have proper funding. Can be a problem. Probably will be. Okay, the second thing on that is make sure we have the people in place. The scaling itself, it's not that hard to find locations. It's not that hard to find opportunities. Make sure we've got the money. Make sure we've got the people. And so make sure you're always looking for funding, but we're always recruiting, always looking, always training. Okay? Always testing. I'm going to put Mary, you're in charge today. Okay? It's a good test. Okay? And you can pivot, if that doesn't work out so well. But scaling too soon can be a big issue. Number 9. Fear of failure. One of the things that I find this with a lot of owners and a lot of just really folks that run the gyms, is it's very easy to become isolated. And what I mean by that is you don't have people that you can talk to that you really trust or really have knowledge of this. And we get fear of failure, and what it does, it kind of paralyzes us. And so we quit doing it. We quit doing things. We quit asking for the sale because I'm afraid of not selling. Or I'm going to quit advertising because I'm afraid it's not going to work. Okay, we get this fear of failure. Okay, and my big message here is, hey, just go up there and swing hard. I mean, this business, if I narrowed it down to the simplest I possibly could, have a winning attitude, that positive expectancy to win, and follow the process. Do that and go. Because, like we'll talk about fear of failure. What's the big fear of failure? Asking for the sale and not getting it. I think that's probably the biggest one that I hear. And what I tell people is, hey, I've already factored that in. Okay, and I kind of take it to the slowest level. I already know you're going to miss half the people you talk to. If 100 people walk in the door, I already know you're not going to sell half of them. I've already factored it in. I'm not even worried about it. Don't you worry about it either. Just make sure our attitude is right. Make sure our process is right. It's not that we're not trying to get better. We are. But there's half of them you're probably not going to sell. I don't care who you are. Okay? And you'll probably do a little better than that, but I think you understand kind of what I'm talking about. And then number 10, common mistakes. Don't give up so easily. Don't give up so easily. Keep fighting. Be determined. Have that intestinal fortitude to fight through this. I mean, too many people, they're probably this close to having success when they give up. See it a lot. I see it a lot with salespeople. I had a guy one time, and this was a client club, and he had come to me. He'd been there for a while, someone I liked. And he goes, Jim, I'm going to go ahead and turn in my resignation. I just don't think this is for me. I really struggle with it. And I said, well, that's great, but I'm not going to accept your resignation. Okay, I think you can do it. And so I want you to stay. And he stayed. Ended up staying there for like 10 years and did a really good job. Okay, and so don't give up so easily. Don't give up on others so easily. You know, one of the things that I get asked this question a lot, hey, when do we fire somebody? How do we know when the right time is to fire somebody? And here's how I look at this. What our job is, if we're management, whatever it is, our job is to give 100% of our efforts to make somebody as good as they can be. That's what it is. And the very second that we can't give 100%, that's the time to fire them. Do them a favor. Because if you're not willing to give them 100%, let them go find somebody that can. Okay? But let's make sure we don't give up so easily. Don't give up on our staff. Let's don't give up on our marketing. Let's don't give up on things. Go out and get help. Okay? I mean, I know I talk to a lot of folks. You can actually, click the link below for a free strategy session, if you need that person to talk to. Sometimes you'd be surprised sometimes just what one call will do. Sometimes that's all the help you need. Just that reassuring voice to say, you know what, you're on the right track. Just keep going. Don't slow down. Don't stop. Okay? So folks, 10 most common mistakes that we see with new gym startups, and I think you could probably take this across the board and include it in operating facilities. You could probably include it in sales management and operations. It could probably work in a lot of areas. And also, as another reminder, as I mentioned earlier, my mission, my focus here in the channel is I want to be able to provide as much information as possible to as many folks as we possibly can across the globe. And the best way I can do that is when you choose to subscribe, when you choose to like the videos, and you choose to share the information with friends and colleagues. So if you've not yet done so, please subscribe, please like it, please share it. Don't forget to check out our link below for our gym management playbook, 100% free. Just click the link, and we'll look forward to seeing you over there, and we look forward to seeing you all in that next video.